Hey there, my friend Perry Tinsley here. Have you ever had the situation, and I'm guessing that you have, where you just feel too tired to even make dinner or make lunch or whatever, and so you turn to the quickest grab and go thing, and you didn't do any meal prepping? It's usually like home delivery service, or you're doing takeout, or you're just grabbing something that may not be the most healthiest option toward the goals that you're wanting. You know what? It really boils down to energy. And so a lot of times our energy reserves, they can really impact, especially when they're really low, they can impact our decision making, which I thought was really, really interesting. Just as I'm reflecting back on my journey on how does energy impact those things that we decide that we're either going to do or not do. So let's dig into those. But before we do that, I want to welcome you to another Power Blast podcast where we provide nourishment for the soul, allowing you to transform from the inside out, providing rapid results in mindset, right up there, what's going on between those ears, and fitness, so that you can recharge that battery of yours and reclaim your power. So, and before we really dig deep in here, I want to make sure that I remind you when you're ready, because I want to talk to you about your goals. Head over to my calendar, absolutely free, talktoperry.com, book a call, 15 minutes, because it's really all about keeping your energy high, exactly what we're talking about on today's show, so that you can reach all your goals. And that's what I want to do. I'll help you in 15 minutes just so that you can reclaim that power of yours. So that's at talktoperry.com. Let's talk about high energy levels. I like to think that I've got pretty high energy, but it ebbs and flows throughout the day. And a lot of times I find it can really, when the energy is really efficient, when it's really high, I find that my decision making is quick, it's sharp. And when it's low, I'm finding myself turning to maybe just easy decisions that are maybe not the healthiest of choices. It's like, what can I just quick do? And like the other day, we went to we were just like, oh my gosh, just not feeling like putting it in the time and energy to making dinner. So we went to a food truck. Now there's a lot of great options at the food truck. Did we choose the healthiest of options? Maybe not. Not totally off track, but a lot of times I find it fascinating how energy can really impact the choices that we make throughout the day. Whether it's like, hey, I'm going to put it into some meal prep, or making my entire meal with healthy ingredients versus a greasy burger and just binging on Netflix for the rest of the evening, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes having those occasional things that might be fun to do, but if you're finding yourself in that pattern where you're going for the quick, easy option as opposed to, kind of that knowing and doing gap, it's like, I know what to do, but I just don't want to put the time and effort into it. That's kind of where I'm going at with this. So let me just share my little story a bit here. So I was a teacher, full-time teacher, and I drove an hour each way to work. Each day was just under an hour, but I rounded up to an hour. And I was running a German Shepherd rescue on my own because I had lost my wife to a car crash earlier, a few years prior. So I was just in this little life transition sort of thing where things were overwhelming. Things were stressing me out. My energy levels were really low. I also had a side business I was doing I'm doing web design for places. I'm doing video production. So it was really, really easy just to go for convenience stuff, right? Long days, long hours, and being exhausted. And so I don't know that I really connected how keeping my energy levels up really impacted the things that I was able to do and the choices that I made for my health and fitness stuff, so that I can keep juggling all the balls all at once. But when I realized that it's like, oh my gosh, this is really, I didn't identify it as it was impacting my my energy, but I did realize it was affecting my health. It was affecting my mindset. It was affecting how reactive I got to things. In other life things, I felt sluggish, and what I noticed was my weight would start to creep in a direction I didn't want it to go in. And then I'm struggling with feeling tired all the time, and that's leading to making unhealthy meal choices, then justifying it, where it's like, well, that's okay. Tomorrow you'll make up for it. And it was really the energy level as I look back at it, and that's why I get to share with you, so that you can become aware of it too. Your energy levels can lead to sometimes poor decision making. So I remember one day, I think awareness is really, really important, because when you're aware, you can make a decision about it. And that's where I made the decision. That was one of the great decisions that I did make. I'm like, I'm going to break the cycle. And so I started looking at the ways. What are the ways that I'm sabotaging things? And one was, I'm not keeping my energy up. So I need to do that. Nutrient dense foods, swapping out the fast food or the convenience foods for, maybe it's not as convenient to meal prep and make your own meals, but I felt better about it. I actually started doing some juicing stuff. I started adding in really nutrient dense foods. I actually started to eat vegetables, which I hated all my life. And I couldn't believe the impact on my energy and the impact on my decision making. Then now I'm going to bed earlier, and that's dropping the stress levels, and that's boosting the energy. And I'm not realizing how all this, really relates or connects with each other. But and the thing was that even with the exercise stuff, I decided after a long work day, I'm still going to get exercise in, and I'm going to do it from home, because I recognized that I was using excuses to not get to the gym, to not do these things, and all the reasons why I couldn't. And so I'm like, well, let's just stop doing those things. Let's get rid of that and do this instead. So I'm noticing my energy changes go around, which is affecting the, boost up, and that's helping my decision making, helping how I respond to the dogs, how I'm doing with the dog rescue, my business, working with clients, how I'm doing in teaching. And so I like to think that, hoping my story serves you a little bit here on just taking a look at keeping your energy high. That's why I tell people, hop on my calendar at talktoperry.com, because I want to help you with some strategies to keep your energy high beyond what we're talking about today, because I'm going to help you point you in the best direction where you're going to get the best results from, so that you can really keep that mental and physical battery of yours peaked every day, so that you can reclaim your power. I often ask, how would your life look different if your battery level was at 100% every single day, as opposed to a 6-year-old smartphone, 2% battery life and no charger in sight? There's a big difference there, right? How things function, how you react. So, when you see your energy levels start to take that nosedive, that's when it's great feedback to recognize when you're starting to make those decisions, and you're justifying, well, let's just do takeout. Well, let's just walk down the block to a food truck. Well, let's just do this. I don't feel like that. Now, we don't do those things all the time, but if you notice yourself in that pattern, it may be just as simple as figuring out the ways to turn your energy around, getting in water, getting in nutrient dense foods, getting in exercise, taking control of your meals, getting in sleep. Those things, while they sound super simple, and sometimes when you're super tired, it seems like it's going to be a lot of work, but just know that those little things are just like plugging in your phone and getting those boosts of energy throughout the day. So it's taking a look at your meal. It's taking a look at the sleep. It's taking a look at your exercise. But you got to be aware of it. Because when you start to get in this pattern where it's just like, oh, it's just another day, it's just exhausted, that can help you drift off course further and further and further and further. And it just becomes just an energy drain and kind of a downer. And then when you just make that pivot and you're saying, oh, I'm going to get back on track, it may be where you've drifted so far off course that it seems like, oh my gosh, this is such an effort to get back on track. And so that's where I want to help you with that. Hopefully that today's tips helped you, because just know, I mean, you can choose to use your power, power of awareness and power of decision making and power of increasing your energy to take control. Or you can let excuses and I'm too tired and all the justifications and rationalizations and defending limitations control you and drain your power. It really boils down to deciding and committing to yourself and your goals, no matter the circumstance, and being open, learning, growing, keep moving forward towards your goals. You've got this, my friend. So drop your favorite takeaway down in the comments. I do respond to those. Hope these tips helped you today, and you absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day, I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to upsidedownfit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find this show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.